Joining in right now at 7 minutes past 3 o'clock on this Marathon Monday. Explosion at the Boston Marathon finish line. Reports of injuries, reports of a massive response there.
Help up from the medical tent. Get as many people up here as you can from the medical tent.
And I actually heard 2 explosions. I didn't know what it was.
We actually saw the explosions from our vantage point, and a police officer came up to me and said, "Get out of here. We don't know what else could happen." And at that point, I have to tell you, I was terrified.
At first, it almost sounded like a cannon blast, but it felt so strong, it literally almost blew my hat off. And everybody started running the other way. There were a few people that were running over towards them to help out the injured, and there were some really bad injuries.
This is the aftermath. This is right after it happened. Obviously, a shuffle, to say the least, to get out of there and get out of there quickly, and also, of course, to tend to those who needed medical help.
There were just families all around us with kids, yelling and screaming.
There are a number of people here with very severe injuries.
Some of those injuries include amputees.
A lot of people were hurt, and we just threw them, ran as fast as we could down here to get blood.
Well, we've had a horrific attack here in Boston this afternoon.
At 2:50 p.m. today, there were simultaneous explosions that occurred along the route of the Boston Marathon.
This was a heinous and cowardly act, and given what we now know about what took place, the FBI is investigating it as an act of terrorism.
Boston is not going to be intimidated by this, but we're going to find out who did this.
These are the biggest pieces of evidence the FBI has, a twisted piece of metal and nylon shreds.
7 News has provided these pictures to the FBI. Right next to the mailbox, in front of the metal railing, there is a bag. Now, seconds later, we have this second picture, and the bag, as you can see, is gone.
What's so proud?
This year's Patriots' Day celebrations were marred by an act of senseless violence that's caused all of us great shock and pain, and is a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the human heart.
I'm thankful for the lives of Crystal and Ling Si and little Martin, and for the lives of the families who survived them.
It should be pretty clear by now that they picked the wrong city to do it. Not here in Boston.
A major break in the Boston Marathon bombing investigation.
Today, we are enlisting the public's help to identify the 2 suspects. Suspect 2 set down a backpack at the site of the second explosion just in front of the Forum restaurant.
Here's what we know. There have been gunshots reported on the MIT campus.
Actually, we have just learned from Cambridge police that an MIT police officer has been shot.
We're seeing police running, guns drawn, and we have heard multiple gunshots, and I'm just staying down, using the car as shelter. I've never in my life been in a situation like this.
One of the suspects is dead. The search is on for a second suspect. I've also since learned that these 2 suspects are the Boston Marathon bombing suspects.
The suspect number 2 has been the focus of an intense manhunt, a lot of it in Watertown. Let's go to Dan Housley to find out if he knows what's happening there, Dan.
I only know that we heard gunfire just about 60 seconds ago.
Live party in the boat, confirmed.
The boat was covered in shrink wrap, and a homeowner came home to find that there was a hole in the shrink wrap, and there was blood around that, so he called the police.
I'm hearing applause right now. Some of the officers running back. They're getting away from their vehicles. It looks like this may be over.
He's alive, and they've asked for a medic to the scene.
We're so grateful to bring justice and a closure to this case.
You can hear this collective sigh of relief all across Watertown tonight, and probably all across New England and perhaps the nation and the world.
At one point, it was the worst year of our life, and sometimes it was the best year of our life. It's hard to explain.
There's no way we would have ever thought we'd be walking this today. You know, walking the 26.2.
You are strong at this broken place. That strength thrives even in the heartaches of today because of you.
because of the compassion that took hold of this city. The generosity that resides in our people. It's the heartbeat of Boston.
Of all the lessons that I have learned over this past year, is that something in your life, in anyone's life, can go horrifically, terribly wrong in a matter of seconds. Yet it is up to us to make every single second count after, because believe me, they do.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning.
We are not strangers. We are all connected to each other, to events beyond our control, to a common destiny.
We ask that you join us in a moment of silence.
We are Boston. We are America. We respond. We endure. We overcome. And we own the finish line.